morning. It's a hard act to follow to come in after two high-powered speakers here.
Tomorrow.
The subject of this session
My phone is
says Sambhavna. Sambhavna is what is possible. I think it'll be interesting also to talk about what is probable here right
Do you know
now.
him from before? The ambassador?
The world today is going through an interesting set of changes. Geopolitics is like a game of chess, where each of the pieces are arguing with the other who actually invented this game. And tariff, apparently, I'm told, has become the most used words on the search engines over the last couple of weeks. But while there is active conversation and dialogue on tariffs and what they might do, there is a series of other races ongoing at this moment. One, of course, is the race to build and figure out a way to manage AI, quantum computing. Technology in general has started a new race across the globe. We have seen the world argue, the world literally actually create wars over land, then oil, then water. And now that all of that seems to be happening at the same time, while the tech seems to have overtaken most everything else. India itself is now considered amongst the leading nations as far as contribution to the GitHub in AI is confirmed. We have, however, spent much less than many other countries. If you see, since 2013, India has spent shy of $12 billion. US has spent well over 450 million. China has spent over 100 million in the very same time. We also have some way to catch up on the research front. But the contribution India is making now is actually growing rapidly. And we've done this a few times in the recent past, which tells us there is a possibility to leapfrog. We did this when the telecom revolution happened in India. From a nation which had only a few 100,000 telephone connections to one which provided first the most expensive and then the lowest priced wireless telephony in the world. Today, we have over 1 billion phone connections, with close to 1 billion of them being smart devices. We have over 1 billion people with digital identities. Most of them also have digital bank accounts. So we're sitting actually at the cusp of a possibility to leverage these along with the new leap in technology that we are likely to take. It positions India not just amongst the big economies, but certainly amongst those who wants to and will be sitting on the top table. India's growth, however, unlike many others, is not seen as a threat, and nor does India want to be in a position where it puts down others. India's attempt is to create an image and a position for itself where it plays an active role and part in the global value chain, whether it is manufacturing or services or in the new technology world. We see ourselves as an increasing provider, not just of services, but also of talent and of intelligence. At this moment, India has a large number of its citizens living and working overseas, many of them in the world of technology. Many of the top tech firms, and this is no secret for all of you, have CEOs which went from India. A large part of the workforce also has been provided by India. India now wants to play the role of being an active player in geopolitics. India wants also to tap into its historical strength of its culture, of its cultural ability to use India's wisdom, India's culture, India's arts, alongside the move that we are making in technology and STEM. We have demonstrated this in many ways. In fact, Nandan, who was here just a minute ago, was a key player in creating the infrastructure which allowed us to do a lot of this. India's UPI, the payment interface system, the India Stack, which is one of the most unique systems in the world, which allows multiple layers of services to ride in full security in an open system. I think it's also important for us to note that the question now on technology and AI is also going to be about how it actually gets governed. What kind of guardrails get set out? I was in California a little while ago, and in most of the conversations we had, the two things that came up was cybersecurity and where AI will take us. Both of these are important conversations, but at this moment, not quite fully defined. I think, therefore, it is critical and important that geopolitics does play a role in this, that countries do talk to each other. At this moment, the system that we have put to protect data is different in each part of the world. Europe has a completely unique outlook to it, where individuals control everything. In China, they have control, but the state wants the final word. In the US, we are looking at it through institutions. India, too, introduced its own act in 2023. I think this is another important conversation that we need to have as we discuss trade, because the world, it appeared, took a complete about turn from the decades of the attempt to build a global village. Of late, it appears it's almost tearing itself apart, with countries saying, my country first, my people first, my jobs first, which is fair to some extent, but at the same time, it does tend to damage the fabric of globalization that was being built. It appears to leave those behind which were getting left behind already. So I think it is important that technology becomes the enabler in building this bridge, which will allow those not to be left behind. At the same time, the conversation and concern about where AI is going is an important and a critical one, which is why conversations like the GTS actually play an important critical role in this. I hope in these few days, while all of you are here, we are able to come to some good understanding, at least to share ideas and views on where each one of us stands. Because at this moment, it also appears we were not quite listening. I think that's important too. As we build the new globe for ourselves and our future generations, while trade conversations will happen, I think it's more important that the very art of conversation is brought back into global dialogue. As a nation, India has played a reasonably neutral role of late. On the one hand, we have been able to buy oil from Russia while the war is going on. At the same time, we are actually having an active conversation with Ukraine as well. And this has been India's stand, that we would like to find solutions through conversations and dialogue. And the time of wars is long past. It still, however, appears we don't quite all agree on this, and which is why this is another conversation which is a critical one. For us to talk about possibilities, they are immense at this moment because of the way we have connected through technologies. The boundaries, the political boundaries that we have built for ourselves are somewhat imaginary once you start looking at technology. Because no matter what boundary you put, technology will travel, information will travel, data will move about. And therefore, it makes perfect sense for us to have a much more open conversation and create a set of possibilities which make for a healthier, happier, more educated, and more accessible world. I hope this is not just the world of possibilities for us, but truly a probability for a future that we see in the not too distant future. I do know that for all of us at this current moment, the conversation about world trade is a critical one because it has caused waves around the world. And there are plenty of views about what it will do and where it will finally land. Nobody knows where it will finally land, but one thing is certain, it has changed the way we all looked at each other, the way we looked at trade, the way we looked at global relations. I hope that by the time this settles down in the next few months, we have a clearer view of how and where we stand in the Committee of Nations, and that as people, we will use technology as a tool and not just be driven by technology. Because the rapid change that is taking place is actually an amazing machine at this moment. We could get driven by it, or we could use it as the most amazing facilitator for us. And I certainly hope it is the latter. Good luck and all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for those insightful remarks on the state of geopolitics of tech, which sets the stage for our next session, the panel discussion on Sambhavna, the state of geopolitics of technology.